Thank you very much, Caroline. I don't need to say anything. You've said it all. So thank you for that lovely introduction. Well, we're a regenerative ecotourism business and a practice that leaves destinations in a better state than they were found. We've been green, in inverted commas, for so many years now. We've been rooted into our place. This photograph here of Mount Leinster. We're just behind Mount Leinster, and we can have the Blackstairs Mountains at the back of our house. I see this view every morning when I pull open the curtains. We're very lucky to live in a beautiful part of rural South Carlow. And we are inspired to live and work here, surrounded by the mountains here, as I said. And we have wildflower meadows in our place, a small lake, and a 5-acre oakwood maze, which is now 14 years old. There's a little pin drop of where we are, and that's a picture of our very old house, which goes back to 1822. And we converted a barn at the back of this house into a dedicated eco centre in 2012, well, really 2011. And the centre was completed and up and running in 2013. As I said, we're located in the Blackstairs, and we're terribly lucky that Carlow is a beautiful, small, sustainable county because we have the Blackstairs Mountains and we have the River Barrow, which is the second biggest river in Ireland. And we're very lucky that there's a beautiful towpath beside it, so you can walk for kilometre after kilometre and have the river on one side and lovely woods on the other, and small, interesting villages as well where people can take refreshments. So we could have the next slide there, Caroline. This is a view here out our window. Lovely hawthorn tree and bluebells, which are just coming out now. And the Mount Leinster there in front of you, and a lovely peacock butterfly here. And this is one of our big beach here. It's nearly the ending of its life now. It's about 250 years old. And we use these trees with our remarkable tree trails, which we run all during the summer. That's a picture of the River Barrow here. And as I said, you can walk from South Carlow right up to Laois, where the Barrow rises in the Slieve Bloom Mountains. So we're very lucky because some other rivers in Ireland don't have a towpath or a walking trail beside them. So we're very lucky in that. So we'll move on to the next picture here. This is our lovely lake. It looks like something from the Amazon. It's the height of summer. We have a little canoe there, and we swim in this lake all year round. It's freezing in winter, but we think it's good for us. We want to live forever. That's a little willow here, and it's on an island, and there's 39 strokes up and 39 strokes down. And the water is very clean. We have it tested regularly. And when it comes into our land, we have a couple of bales of straw which filter anything that might be nasty or we don't want in our water. Our centre is completely eco-friendly. We used organic paint in our restored barn. We have geothermal heating from the ground, buried down under the ground. We have a small rainwater harvesting system, and we have solar panels, and we also have an electric car charger for our guests. This is a picture of our little green hut here in the height of summer. We have 4 huts, and we only want 4 huts. Our journey is a sustainable journey, a regenerative journey. We're not 100% green, of course we're not, but we're on this journey to be as green and sustainable as possible. The paint on that hut is eco paint. It is more expensive, but we're just going to repaint them now before we open in April, and waiting for some nice dry weather. We have no chemicals used here, no sprays, but millions of insects, bees, bumblebees, shield bugs, etc. And we humans here, our small family, are in the minority, and we like that. We have thousands of trees, lots and lots of birds. I was out this morning recording the sound of birds, and before 7 o'clock this morning, 25 birds had come up on my bird app, which shows that this area here is very rich in biodiversity. You could move on there, Caroline, if you wouldn't mind. That's the view from my sitting room window. It's Mount Leinster. If you look very closely, you'll see the RTE mast on top of that. But it's a wonderful view. And a lot of the farmers here are small farmers, hill farmers who use the land in commonage. So there's no fencing at all on these mountains. And we're very lucky to be international guests and national guests and local guests walking in these mountains. And we make sure that we don't bring any plastic bottles with us. We're trainers with Leave No Trace too. We've been long-term members of that. So we make sure that we only leave our footprints when we're out walking with our guests. As you know, ecotourism focuses on lovely, pristine natural environments, and it builds cultural environmental awareness with our other businesses in the area. I like to think that we're not alone in what we're doing, that we're trying to have a string of pearls where all these businesses, like-minded business, can help each other. There's no point being protectionist about your business. I believe in giver's gain, that what you share with other people in other business will come back to you in absolute spades. So our local community and local businesses are really important to us because they spread the word about your business, and that feeds into your general tourism traffic. So we'll pass on here just a quick, rather a lot of text here, but you're probably going to get a copy of this, so don't worry about trying to read everything. We run nature trails, guided mountain hikes, incredible edibles foraging tours and cookery. Kids go wild in nature trails, and we run really wild hen parties in the true state of it. It's all about sustainability, foraging, mushroom hunting. So our hens are free range when they come to us, and we have a lovely wild adventure with them. We do a lot of corporate and educational work. We leave no trace training. We do teacher training courses, geographical investigations for Leaving Cert, and we have our, as I said, 4 little shepherd's huts. I make all my own bread. Like Chris, we also make all our own jams. Everything is organic, and because we have 16 acres, we grow all our vegetables. We have a very nice orchard as well. The little bird in our logo is a dipper, and the dipper is a bird of the upland mountains as well as the rivers. So you can hire our place too for a corporate day out. Next slide. Just a little picture here of a summer hike, Kids Go Wild Trail, a mountain mythology tour, and a Celtic tree trail. Next slide. Excuse me. Cooking up here fungi, and in summer now we'll be doing elderflower cordial. The lemons are organic, but they're not our own lemons, needless to say. Next picture, please. We do, we teach, excuse me for coughing, a nest making creative workshop for teachers. You know, a bird has only a tiny little beak and 2 little skinny legs, but with a lovely beak, they can make incredible nests. So I got the teachers to see, with 2 capable hands, could they make bird nests? So you can have a look at that and see which one you think is the best. So it was great fun doing that with materials that we gathered from the land, moss and straw, lichen, various things. It's something that people could do with children as well. This is foraging in the Raven in Wexford, which is a lovely nature reserve, and we did it through the Wexford Food Festival. We're very lucky to work with Lords and Ladles. On the left here is Paul Flynn from the tannery, and we're making up a nice collection of forage foods. And you can see here on the right a wild green salad with dandelion leaves, borage, sorrel, hairy bittercress, and Alexander seeds. And my hand up there on the right was Alexander peppers, which we use. It's a lovely plant brought here by Alexander the Great. You can find it in any ditch, and it makes a lovely alternative to pepper. So the next slide. A picture of 2 of our huts and the inside of 2 of our huts as well. Gorse Mountain Hut is the yellow one, and Green Mountain Hut is here. No hut overlooks another hut, and we have lovely organic paint, upcycled vintage furniture like Chris, and we use the organic paint on the furniture as well to make sure everything has no fumes and chemical free. We buy, as far as possible, organic linen, and I make the curtains myself. Next picture. This is a picture of our house here. We're very lucky to live in an old rectory. When we bought it in 1980, it was falling down. And looking back on it now in our journey, we had to re-roof it and re-plumb it and rewire it. We have our own well. We have a fantastic water here, absolutely wonderful. And we put in an ultralight violet system to make sure that the water would be permanently healthy and clean for our guests. The picture on the right here is our eco barn, which dates back to 1822. It doesn't look, it's had a bit of Botox and a bit of upcycling here. The wood is all natural wood. The tables are oak and they're hand turned by a local craftsman in County Wexford. The floor is green cement, which is 85% less carbon than ordinary cement. And even our cookers and fridges have no links in their manufacturing to child labour or sweatshop labour or nuclear power. And you can buy a book, which is very good, about Good Shopping Guide, it's called, where you can see where either Siemens or Bosch or Indesit or whatever fridge or freezer or cooker you're looking at, do they support unsustainable practices? So we've made, I think that's how we really pushed it out for our gold level certification over the years, to make sure that everything in that building is actually organic, free from chemicals as far as possible, but particularly with the cement, the paint, and buying locally. The big stove here heats 14 radiators, and we're thinking of changing that now, putting it into an air to water heat pump. We've just had a BER rating of B2, which is very good for a very old building, but there's tremendous insulation in the walls here and also triple glazing in the glass and lots of insulation in the roof. So we were delighted to get that. So we're thinking about going a further step. Down here on the left-hand corner, just before you move on, is a lovely old beech tree there, and our guests sometimes have their breakfast outdoors. It's a self-service breakfast. Everything is organic. Unfortunately, the fox got all our hens very recently, so we're very sad about that. But my neighbour has lovely organic hens, so I just pedal up the road and get them from her. And we have homemade sourdough and soda bread and all the jams, and it's a continental breakfast, and the guests cook up their own eggs. So it's in summertime, we put tables out here and they can have their breakfast outdoors or indoors. We're hoping for a good summer. The last 2 summers have not been very good. We've had a lot of rain, but we take whatever we get. So the next slide, please, if you wouldn't mind. So the types of jobs in ecotourism for people who are joining the Just Transition group or looking for ways to create green businesses. The main thing for us really is to make sure that you're doing something that you love. And our guests are telling us that sustainability is very, very important to us. So you can get jobs in tourism and human resources, ecotourism development specialist, sustainable tourism development manager, also to working with regenerative tourism. For instance, if you're not sharing what you do with your local community, at times of stress, or for instance, Storm Eowyn, which came recently, we had a lot of trees down. Neighbours turned up with chainsaws to chop our trees up, chip all the brushings up from the top of the trees, help us in every way with flasks of tea and coffee. And if we hadn't made that connection with other businesses, I don't know whether they would have arrived as readily as they did. And it was an example of working together and not trying to hide yourselves behind a big wall and not share what you're doing, not share your mistakes, which there are many in business, and you worry about rates and you worry about tax and you worry about how good your staff are. And fortunately, we've been very good. In our business, we have myself, my husband, and our daughter. And also, too, we have 3 part-time people who help us during the busy season from May until the end of September. So next slide, if you wouldn't mind. So jobs related to sustainable management, people might be interested in, going greener. If you plan to work in this section, be responsible for day-to-day functioning of ecotourism business. And I can tell you that guests who come to us from Dubai, and last year we had people from outer Mongolia. I couldn't believe it. They were on a world trip in a battered old camper, and they absolutely loved the Irish weather. They weren't looking for the sun on the Costa Brava. We also had a man from Dubai, and it was pouring rain one day last summer, absolutely lashing down in the Blackstairs. And I found him lying out in our wildflower meadow. We have a 6-acre wildflower meadow, and he was lying down in the grass, and I thought he was sick or something had happened to him. And I went up to him and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, I've come from the rain. It's over 40 degrees where I live. So we must never make apologies for the weather. We have what we have here in Ireland, a temperate climate, and we may grouch about the rain at times. But our visitors actually, they're coming to Ireland. They know we don't have wall to wall sunshine. So they're just a list of jobs that you might be interested in ecotourism or regenerative tourism. And the slides will be shared, so I don't need to read through them. So these are some of the things that we do. We work with the Department of Education with teachers' courses. We demonstrated Savour Kilkenny in Carlow. We work with Kilkenny Recreation and Sports Partnership. We're very closely allied to the Carlow Sports Partnership and Carlow County Council, and also with Carlow Leader. We got very lucky. We got a big grant in 2012 from Carlow Leader. And as John was saying, going through these leader applications, you need to be fortified with triple espressos and make sure that you're in a good mood when you start to do these applications. You've got to tick the boxes. You're getting public money. So it's worthwhile doing these things properly in order that you can get the crock of gold at the end of the rainbow. So I would say to anybody who needs to access grants, whether it's from SEAI, and Lawrence will help you there, or from any of your leader partnership companies, it is worthwhile. Make sure you've got good people to help you and don't stress about it. The money is there for businesses like ours, for going on these sustainable journeys, for our visitors to come to us from all over the world to savor what we're doing here in Carlow. I think I'm nearly at the end of the press. That's the last one. The accreditation, we're in the top 100 best places to stay in the Irish Times. Gold accredited ecotourism centre under Ecotourism Ireland. We're now very strong members of sustainable tourism. Fabulous top 50 places to stay in 2019. Best glamping award in 2019. And we were so surprised, National Geographic top best 5 outdoor activities in 2020. But for us, it's not just about the awards. It's about loving what you do, creating a sense of place, knowing that you have very little impact on this planet. And tourism, I think, is not a product. It's a real dynamic that we need to foster and love and take care so that we send out the vibes when our guests come to us. Is that the last one? So the lessons learned, we have an ecotourism offering. We make the most of the natural resources that we have, the mountains, the rivers. We focus on high quality. Because we're ecotourism and sustainably driven, it doesn't mean we sacrifice luxury in any way whatsoever. A combination of low and high margin products. We work with a diverse group of stakeholders. We make the most of public sector supports. We evolve. And if you don't love what you're doing, step aside and think of something else. I'm very happy to answer any questions. We're on X, I should have changed that. We're on Facebook, on Instagram. And if people are looking for business, I find Instagram very good for driving business to us. So thank you very much indeed. I'm happy to answer any questions and hopefully I'll be able to give you an answer.